Patrick Kane is a Blackhawk again.
Yeah, Northside noise, Shot City day, Joey and Sam, lock it in, whip go all the spin, come talk it, tap in, and with a heartbeat couple quick.
Welcome to the Shy City Den. I am Joey Glickman alongside Sam Van Cleve. We're breaking down the biggest stories which we have coming up soon, biggest games and all things Chicago sports. If it's happening in Chicago, we are talking about it. Packed show ahead of us, maybe the biggest show we've had ever maybe. Patrick Kane is now a Chicago Blackhawk for life. As my phone goes off, Chicago Blackhawk for life. We're going to break down the Cubs series loss to the Tigers and preview their next series against the Pirates. And then we're going to preview the next position group on our list, which is the Bears' defensive tackle room. But let's start, Sam. Oh man, I was in work. I was at work today at about 7:45, and I got the tweet from Elliot Friedman that made my summer. Really, it really made my summer. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a bit emotional at work today. I was fired up. I'm surprised you didn't hear me back in St. Louis, Sam. I was losing it, bro. But getting into the gist of it, Patrick Kane is a Chicago Blackhawk again. A 2-year, a gigantic overpay, but I don't care at all. $8 million average annual value, so 2 for 16. If you want to talk baseball or NFL money terms. This is not only a win for the Blackhawks. This is not only a win for Patrick Kane. This is not only a win for Chicago sports. This is a win for the city. And I kind of knew over the night, like really kind of last weekend, that this thing was going to probably get done. And as the week went on, it was kind of, I don't know when this decision is going to be made. And then now today on Thursday, what is it, the 23rd of July, he finally makes the decision. Sam, before I get into kind of the details, more so in how he's going to fit into this Blackhawks team, what are your thoughts on how this is gonna uplift this city?
I mean, all I want is for, because obviously I'm not a big Blackhawks guy, never really have been. That's just, the way I was raised. But, I mean, from what I'm hearing, if it's going to help Bedard out, I'm for it. And obviously bringing a 3-time Cup champ back home to Chicago, you can't be upset about that, man. And Patty Kane is who we grew up on. The nasty backhander, spinorama we grew up watching. So this is an unbelievable reuniting, and I hope it's, not like 2003 Scottie Pippen, but I hope he can still make an impact on this Hawks team and kind of maybe help catapult this team. I don't know really if this team's close to the playoffs or not, but hopefully Patty Kane can, play alongside Bedard, help him grow, and ultimately give this team a shot at the playoffs, because we haven't sniffed the playoffs in damn near, I don't know how long it has been for the Blackhawks. But love the reuniting with Patty Kane.
Yeah, and will this team make the playoffs this year? And will Kane kind of increase those chances for sure? Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? I honestly don't know. Like, this is a team that has a lot of uncertainty. They have a lot of young players, but all these young guys are super talented. Like this guy Kanserov, Lardis, Oliver Moore. And then you got a young Bowen Byram who just traded for Levshinov, Vlasic. You got all these young players that have a very high ceiling, and now you bring in a guy who's been there, done that, won 3 cups with the Hawks, knows what it's like to win. He's been a winner everywhere he's went, everywhere he's gone, and just from a fan standpoint, with Bedard being out for this long, for the first month, having Kane there really is gonna make me watch every single game. I
I
mean,
mean,
his home
no
opener
Bedard too. It's really gonna get some butts and seats early and like some eyes on the TV.
for sure. And I'll tell you this: if the Cubs aren't playing a playoff game on October 6th, I will be in attendance for that home opener. I don't care how much I'll pay. I will be there in attendance. The United Center, the United, the United Center on October 6th may be the loudest it's been since 2015. Since
That
2015.
hey, that's a statement I haven't heard in a really long time. What 2015? What was that? The Rajon Rondo Bulls you're talking
Yeah,
about?
well, the Hawks won a cup that year, but they almost won that series. They almost did. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna be it is gonna be loud at the United Center all year long. Um, and I will be there. I will be there for a lot of games. And he's gonna fit into that first power play unit. It's probably gonna be a mix of him, Bedard, Bertuzzi, maybe like a Nazar, and then probably Bowen Byram handling the D on the first unit. Like he's one of the best power play guys of all time. And this team struggled with it last year. And bringing a guy in like Kane is going to uplift this team on the special teams. I know he's not on the penalty kill, but on the power play, he's just gonna create a lot more chances for Bedard, and Bedard is gonna be better off. Nick Lardis is gonna be better off. Anton Frondell is gonna be better off. All these guys are gonna be better off because Patrick Kane is now in the building, both on and off the ice.
Love to hear
Um,
that.
yeah, I'm super pumped. I mean, this is the biggest Chicago sports signing since when? You Darvish in 19? Was it you Darvish?
Dansby Swanson.
What was it? Was it Craig Kimbrell mid-year in 19? It wasn't Dansby Swanson.
Hey, Montez Sweat.
That wasn't a free agent signing, but
Yeah, you're right. Joe
it was more of an
Tooney.
extension. I'm trying to think,
Resign.
like John Lester in 15. Like I don't know what's
Jason Hayward was
Hayward
worth
in
it in the end.
16. Hayward in 16. I don't know, but this was really this has the potential to make my entire summer, and I'm super super excited for Blackhawks hockey coming up in now September, late September, which is the first late September start I can remember. It's usually first week of October. It's now September 29th against Vegas. I think that's enough Patrick Kane talk. We'll obviously talk about him more as the season gets closer. Let's move on to the Cubs. Not a great start to the week. A brutal loss on Monday night in extra innings. You blow out the Tigers on Tuesday night, and then you lose a game that I enjoyed taking my DMV test more than I did watching last night's ball game. That was a joke of a baseball game. But
Yeah.
what were your thoughts kind of this week and into this weekend? So let's start with this week as I go get a drink of water.
We should be back. All right, audio's back. But overall thoughts about this week. Obviously, you just can't drop that first game against Detroit. Obviously at home, You kind of have every opportunity to end the game in the ninth inning against Kenley Jansen, getting runners on. I think it was we had second and third with one out. Um, and we ended up squandering that opportunity to score a run, ended up going to extras. Obviously, Detroit puts up the big 3-4 spot it was in the 10th, and ultimately we just couldn't claw back from that. I thought that first game of the series was kind of like the obviously setting the tone for the rest of the series, and it worked out that way. Um, so that was a game that we just needed to have for that series. You can't go, you know, scoreless in the ninth and 10th in your biggest at bats of the game, and hope to win the game from that. I understand we battled back from going down four early, came back to tie it. But that game should have been over in the ninth inning. Bregman had an opportunity and went to the 10th and squandered that. I thought the way we responded against them in that second game was awesome. And then dropping the rubber match was, kind of a tale we've seen all year. Really, where the bats maybe show up. Say I had that big swing in the first, and then the bats really didn't show up for the rest of the game. I thought the bullpen did an okay job. Starters, okay job. But for me, that last series of the Tigers series, or the last game of the Tigers series, was really just a sum of what we've seen kind of all year with this group.
Why does this team look like the 27 Yankees one night, and then the next night they look like they don't know how to play the sport? It really
baffling.
seems like it. Like the approaches last night were just so like Alex Bregman. All right, we brought him in for his plate discipline. We brought him in for his leadership. We brought him in for his home runs. We haven't seen any of that.
I've
We haven't.
seen, I mean, Boog was rambling on the ESPN broadcast and how this guy's an outstanding leader, can go into any culture and fit into any culture. Cool. That's good from a locker room clubhouse standpoint. But what we brought Bregman in to do is hit bombs in that four hole, that two hole when he's there, and get on base, and just be an anchor for this lineup that's for the most part pretty young, or not young, but you got your Pete, you got Nico, Mo coming up. So really, he's supposed to be kind of a older guy that Pete can lean on in these scenarios. But Pete's been the guy carrying this offense all year. So really, has that leadership paid off? It has paid off in ways us viewers and fans can't see. But to me, it's just, and it goes back to our grade episode we did. What was it last week? Bregman's been at a C level, maybe even D plus level all year, and that certainly needs to improve for this team to have deep October hopes.
Right, and just like last night, Kenley Jansen threw him, what was it, 5 cutters in a row. Like
And
really,
we already saw Kenley this series. He specifically saw Kenley this series, and he's probably been seeing Kenley his whole damn MLB career. Like,
right?
it's nothing new.
Yeah, and again, he doesn't have the stuff he did in 2016. Kenley Jansen is a 38-year-old. Like he doesn't have the same zip on his cutter that he once had, and like he got not even just Kenley Jansen, like Montero, like he was great last night. Like his changeup was really, really good. Like he looked really solid. But he also gave him some pitches to hit, and Bregman either fouled him back behind the plate or he popped up to first base. That's just been
You
all that he's been doing all year.
you bring up a good point because it's not like his plate discipline's been good. He's been laying off, good pitches to lay off. Like he's not chasing any absurd pitches below, up, outside of the zone. His problem, I think, more relies in like what Pete's problem was early in the year. It's like he's getting the pitches he wants to swing at. He's just not doing damage on any of the pitches he's supposed to be doing damage on, and that's a problem when you're paying $35 million for that guy.
And and he hasn't really gotten a clutch hit yet. Uh, his last clutch hit at Wrigley Field, he was an Astro, and he hasn't gotten that clutch gene. at all this year. Like when he's up at the dish in a big spot, you're not confident. Same with Seiya. Seiya like he's had some big hits. Like he had a good postseason, but like when he's up in a big spot, you don't feel confident. And really, like yes, this offense is a really good offense, but like
Yeah.
a lot of these guys, like when they're up at the plate in a big spot, like you're not confident. Like you're not confident at all. But you go to the team up north, Terang, Churio, Garrett Mitchell, um, Bowers,
So
Vaughn, all these guys.
I'll ask you,
Go
who do
ahead.
you think who would you want up right now with like the biggest at bat of the game? You know, who are you giving that to 1 through 9 on our team right now?
I mean, it'd be Pete. If not Pete, it'd probably be Nico still,
Yeah,
right?
I'd probably
Or
lie
low
on them.
key, dude. Like honestly, Conforto got like Conforto's been really good this year. Um, like he's honestly a name that popped up in my head if it's not Pete.
And the
Nico
fact
and
that we're even considering Conforto over the guys we have in our corner outfield spots right now, and when both of those guys are impending free agents after this season, that kind of speaks volumes to me.
yeah, I don't think he's going to be starting next year, but
No,
um,
I mean that's not where at all I was going with that. It's more so, and Mike is
I
giving me
got you.
troubles tonight. I'm saying it's
All
more
good.
so trouble for the guys we already have starting in the corner spots right now. Because if you're taking a bench bat over, your cornerstone outfielders, that's I don't know, it's a little concerning for me, and it's almost like I don't know if those two guys are going to be in Chicago next year.
I think they bring back one of them.
Yeah,
If I
I
were to pick, it'd probably be Seiya. That's going to
good
be
bet.
coming back. I think Ian's time has come to an end. I think Seiya will probably. It's going to be one of them. They're not going to let both of them walk. Um, but yeah, I think Conforto has earned that DH spot against righties for the foreseeable future. Unless Mo can somehow prove himself in Iowa, he hasn't really been great down there since he's been sent down. So yeah, I think Conforto's been really good for this team, and the clutchness needs to step up for this team if they want to make any run at Milwaukee. It's time. Like they're 7 games back. Like they really need to cover some ground
Yeah,
sooner
this
rather.
is kind of the point in the year where you're going to start to see a little more urgency from every ball club, especially when we kind of ramp towards the trade deadline. We're going to learn about who's going for it, who's not going for it. And I'd say, when you get past that trade deadline point, it's really you got all your weapons now, and it's full force steam into October. So from here on out, I'd say the urgency gets a little more every game. So this team is definitely going to have to play with some.
Right. Let's preview briefly as I get my lighting a little bit better. Let's preview the Pirates series briefly. 3 games with Pittsburgh this weekend. It's going to be a tall task. Jared Jones against Matty Boyd tomorrow night. And then Saturday night, it's Shota against Paul Skeens. And then Sunday, it's Braxton Ashcraft going against the fighting right-hander Jamison Tyone. Um, what's your expectation this weekend? Like honestly, 2 out of 3 is a lot to ask for.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I feel like I would give advantage to the Pirates almost 2 out of 3, maybe the two back end games to the Pirates and the first to us. Because I don't know, it feels like I don't. This might be one of Jared Jones's, earlier starts to this year's campaign. I want to say because I feel like he was
Yeah,
battling injuries for the most part of the
yeah,
year.
he's been back for some time. His first start back was May 29th, and then he got hurt. Actually, I take that back. He was out. He started once in May, and then actually, I no, he's
Okay,
been back since
get the
late
point.
May.
relatively hasn't put together a full season. So I mean, just like the Pirates series, right? You got to jump on that first game because that first game gives you some cushion.
He's been really good, by the way, in July. Um, you got me?
Cushion in the, yeah, cushion in the sense where like, oh, like I stole the first game of the series. Maybe, Craig can go be more aggressive with some bullpen arms or some bench bats in game two or game three. But this, at this point of the year, divisional opponent, these are massive swings in the division.
You got me? I got
All
you.
right, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's maybe
I
it's
mean,
maybe
these games are massive swings in the division in the wild card race, so you have to get every single one of them, in my opinion. And this is a Pirates team that's actually playing some pretty damn good ball as of late. I feel like their bats are definitely improved from last season, and not the same Pittsburgh teams we've been used to or susceptible to seeing in the past. Um, so this is definitely a series. Like I said, we got to get out and we got to hit right away because come Paul Skeens in game two, it might be a little bit more tough sledding. And then he gets to game three, Braxton Ashcraft, who's also had our number for the most part. So those two guys are going to be tough matchups for sure.
right. It starts with tomorrow setting the tone, and really getting off to a nice start. The Brewers play at 3 o'clock tomorrow, so we will know the outcome of that game before the Cubs, uh, first pitch happens in Pittsburgh. So yeah, just try to win the series. Try to win the series, and just don't get swept. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a tall task. Honestly, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the Cubs have honestly hit Skeens pretty well.
I feel like we have.
Like
Um,
Dansby hits really well against him. Ian does. I think Saya's got a home run against him.
dude,
Um,
it's just divisional opponents. There has to be an extra urgency when you step into the box, and I feel like we've seen that out of Ian Happ. I mean, dude's owned Pittsburgh for the past 3, 4 seasons in Chicago. Really, every division opponent Ian has owned up until this point. But yeah, I feel like it's just the extra urgency when you step into the box. Like it's a division opponent. You know how much these games mean at the end of 162. Um, yeah.
um, all right. Well, let's hope the Cubs can find a way to take 2 out of 3 this weekend in Pittsburgh. For our final segment, let's preview a interesting, I would put it, D tackle room. And honestly, a kind of an exciting room. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay,
great. I'm just more so wincing at this
okay,
defensive.
because we've had a bit of Wi-Fi issues, or mic issues, but we're back now. Let me read you off the names, shall we? Okay. Jervon Dexter from Florida. He's back for year what? Year four?
Yeah, he's got one
God,
this
it's year
last
four
year.
already?
It's contract year, bro. It's contract.
Crazy. Crazy. Grady Jarrett is back for year two in Chicago. Shamar Turner is back and healthy, um, for the Bears. Neville Gallimore, who they signed in free agency from Indianapolis, he is their new addition, along with Contavious Street, who they brought in from Atlanta last year, and then James Lynch, who I have never heard of. He was with Tennessee. Had a what do you have, half a sack last year? Yeah.
I mean, just
And then the sixth round pick, Jordan Vandenberg, who honestly I like. He can see some snaps a lot in preseason. Um, Sam, this is an interesting group, uh, highlighted with Jervon Dexter. But what do you expect out of this group this year? Minus Billings.
You got me?
Yes, I do.
All right, sweet. To just kind of recap on where this group was last year, we were 27th in rush yards allowed, 29th in yards per carry, explosive run rate of 28th in the league, and just zero push at the line of scrimmage. So, in my eyes, this is the position group that needs to improve the most out of any position group on our whole entire team because we were just getting straight up beat off the line of scrimmage. This position group, in particular, and we really didn't revamp it at all. And that was kind of a big concern for me as we go into training camp because you look at the final four teams from last year. I know we were a play away. Like, we were well in that conversation as we deserved to be because Ben got us there.
I could chime in.
But again, sorry, I'm cutting out. It's been a frustrating night. But you look at the other four teams that were the final four teams last year. You know, the Seahawks had Byron Murphy, Pats, Christian Barmore, Rams, obviously Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, and the who am I missing? Broncos, John Franklin Myers, right? Zach Allen, right?
Right.
All of those names are elite interior names, and I just don't know if the Bears have one of those guys. And I think the last time we had one of those dudes was Akeem Hicks back in the 2018 days. But I feel like the ability to kind of create those early down third and long scenarios is a force multiplier for a team and your defense. And I just think that is something that this defense doesn't really have. And I think we are more so leaning on Dennis Allen trying to get more out of this group than he did this past season. So I feel like we're going to see improvements within the scheme and within the system. But I don't know if our improvements are going to come from those outside additions, if that makes sense, because our outside additions, Neville Gallimore, Kentavious Street, those to me sound like rotational pieces that are going to be great help because of how thin this group was last year. But it's not any like needle moving force multiplier move for me. The most intriguing name out of that group, I think, for me heading into training camp is Jordan Vandenberg. Vandenberg. Great name, by the way. Last name's freaking awesome. But really, out of Georgia Tech, this was my favorite get. Maybe one of the most underrated gets of our draft class, I think. His explosiveness and burst off the ball for a defensive tackle is really, really eye-opening, and it's what stood out to me really. When I watched him on film, he has some really aggressive hands at the point of attack. And I think this is a dude that can straight up maul guys on the interior with his quick first step and power. Kind of what I was speaking to last week with Book and Sweat. That mix of power and speed is pretty rare for defensive linemen and defensive tackle in this league. But when you get one with that kind of rare capability of both of those traits, those are the dudes you want to keep around. And I think Jordan Vandenberg can kind of turn into one of those dudes for us.
For sure. A big year for Javon Dexter, man. Like this is
Dude.
it. This is it. Like this is it. If he doesn't perform, he's gonna be gone for sure. He did show some flashes late last year. The Green Bay game, he was really good. The Rams game, he was solid.
And that's kind of been the story with Dex is like over the past few years, we've seen the flashes of who he can be. We just need him to be that this year. Like this is the year you need the step to happen.
And you don't expect Grady Jarrett to really, be the guy that he once was in Atlanta. And
Yeah,
Billings is gone. You're gonna get you're gonna get so many snaps going into this year where you can really make a name for yourself. But if he doesn't perform, he's gone. Like this could be his last year as a Chicago Bear. And right now, I wouldn't be sad about it. But that can obviously change.
Yeah, and that's kind of where my head's at with this defensive line is like
I know we have a lot of expiring contracts coming up, so I think that's maybe one of the reasons we've been hesitant to maybe make a big splash on the defensive line somewhere, is that we know we have a bunch of expiring. So that's gonna, feed Ryan more money, more opportunities to go out and build more to Dennis Allen's strength and, finding guys that can fit the Dennis Allen mold at defensive tackle. Um, but like the inability to control the line of scrimmage that we saw with this group from last year was really what got. Dude, I'm cutting out right now so bad. I apologize to all the millions of people listening right now. But I'm like going back, like we can't have these, death by a million paper cut type games where we just continually get the ball just shoved down our throats on defense. Like that just can't happen, bro. Like we need to beat people off the line of scrimmage, and like the modern NFL has reinforced, I think, like the value of dominant interior defensive line play. And looking at this roster, I just don't know who that person is going to be for on the interior side of the ball for us.
Yeah. Will it be Javon Dexter? Will it be Grady Jarrett? That remains to be seen. Sam, any last thought before we get out of here?
AT&T is probably my last straw with you.
Not our best. Thank you so much for listening to the Shy City Den. I am Joey Glickman. That is Sam Van Cleve. Thank you for listening to a muffled Shy City Den.